In 1928, a man named Paul Wurm completed the construction of an aircraft around 1929. Some newspapers claimed it was 1930. This aircraft attracted great curiosity from the public when it was unveiled because many people didn't believe it could fly, except for the determined designer himself. The aircraft can be divided into two parts. The lower part consists of a flat main fuselage with fixed main landing gear on both sides at the front. The pilot sits in the left front. The flat fuselage has a vertical tail at the rear, and there are upward support structures on both sides of the main fuselage, supporting the upper part of the aircraft. The upper part of the fuselage includes a top-lifting wing, which has a smaller wingspan, just slightly wider than the main fuselage. The wing ends have downward vertical tails, seemingly equipped with control surfaces. Below the wing is a huge propeller suspended by belts. Let's call it a propeller for now. It is a massive cylindrical structure with spiral-shaped blades along both the inner and outer walls of the cylinder. The designer believed that it could generate sufficient wind power when rotating at high speed, similar to a high-speed rotating water pump. This unique propeller is not rigidly installed, but suspended by a series of belts. The engine that drives it is located below and also connected by belt transmission. There are also belts on the propeller that connect with two belt pulleys below the wing. This way, the propeller hangs in midair by belts. It must be said that the designer had a vivid imagination. The upper and lower parts of the aircraft are also not fixed together, but function similarly to a tank's oscillating turret. The upper structure is mounted on the support structure and can be adjusted in pitch, allowing for the adjustment of the wing's angle of attack, the angle between the wing and the oncoming flow. The designer pointed out that through this design, the aircraft could achieve high-speed flight performance at low engine speeds, along with good fuel efficiency and low noise. He filed a patent for this design in May 1929. However, practice is the only true test of the truth. The aircraft made its maiden flight on May 6, 1929, which was reported by the media. It was said that the aircraft was piloted by a pilot named Jansson. When he started the aircraft in the cockpit, it immediately produced tremendous noise and vibration. Even after attempting to adjust the wing angle, the aircraft didn't budge. Realizing that something was wrong, Jansson quickly left the cockpit, and then the propeller, suspended by belts, fell down and smashed into the cockpit. If he had hesitated for a moment, he might have turned into mincemeat. Regardless of how the newspapers later evaluated Paul Maiwurm and his aircraft, the fact proved that Maiwurm himself was not very professional in aircraft design. Some of his ideas didn't align with aviation knowledge. He lacked a professional technical team and equipment. We can even doubt whether this oddly shaped aircraft underwent wind tunnel testing. After the failed flight test, Paul Maiwurm attempted to design another aircraft with 4 propellers, which was, of course, another strange aircraft. Besides technical issues, Paul Maiwurm also faced financial problems. It seems that he tried to raise funds. Soon after, this disillusioned designer was forced to leave the area because the authorities had noticed his actions and held a skeptical attitude toward his inventions, ordering the cessation of related work. Looking back at the history of aviation development, Paul Maiwurm and his design are merely an insignificant story in history, and from a technical perspective, it can even be considered a complete failure. But perhaps this is what dreaming is all about, as success or failure is always worth the effort.